Good evening, everyone. Today we have here a very special speaker among us who is going to give us a masterclass. And this masterclass is going to be on green filmmaking or green production, that is also known as eco-friendly film production. First, we'd like to see a clip, an introductory clip about our today's festival session. Thank you. Hello there, Dr. Alberto Bertolucci.
Thank you for inviting me. I do not have.
Yes, I think we lost him, but meanwhile, let me give a short introduction about Dr. Alberto Bertolucci. After completing a very complex and engaging PhD in cognitive sciences, he had moved on to filmmaking. And after being engaged in a particular course in London Film Academy, he thought of jumping into some filmmaking that would help the nation, the world, and overall the entire ecosystem. So today our noted speaker is Dr. Alberto Bertolucci, and now we are going to move to him so that we can all can enjoy this particular masterclass.
Okay, I thank you very much
Over
for the
you.
introduction. I hope you hear me correctly, and I thank you particularly because I understand that in Bangladesh it's quite late at night, and this helped me a lot. But you know, on your side, I think it's later, and I hope not to make you yawn too much during the following hour. I'm gonna share my screen in order to show you a presentation about the project that we started here in my region a few years ago. And let me just okay. Okay, I think I will keep it like this. Yeah, I will keep it like this. I hope you can see that. So today, what I'm gonna do is to talk to you about green film rating system, which is an instrument that we developed in the north of Italy a few years ago, with the purpose of trying to reduce the impact of film productions on the environment. But let's start just telling you who we are, where I work, and what I do. I work at the Trentino Film Funding Commission, which is a public institution, is a public office that acts as the main link between our territory, which is a region in the north of Italy, and film productions and filmmakers who would like to film in our film productions. So it's we every year we give several grants to national and international film productions, and also we offer a number of services to filmmakers, such as contacts with local crews, contact with service providers, with hotels, with police forces. We take care of all the permits, and we do that for free in order to encourage producers to come and film in our land, in our region. As I told you, we are in the north. We are the northernmost region of Italy. We are uh, uh, at the border with Austria. We are a very natural region full of many lakes with the mountains, as you can see. The Alps are close, but we still have some scent of Mediterranean climate, and I'm very happy. I'm very proud of the region I'm living in, and we are very happy and proud of our nature, and the environment for us are a very important asset. So in many services offered by the public institution, by the local administration, what we try to do is to offer services, and at the same time trying to reduce the impact of different kind of different kind of businesses on the environment. In 2017, we started this project, which is called Green Film, and the Green Film is both a tool and designed to encourage film and TV producers to work in a more environmentally friendly way. And also, Green Film is a certification label that can attest, and which is granted to projects that have been shot in a sustainable way. Uh, Green Film is also a network of institutions that at the European level work together in order to implement common strategies for reducing the impact of the audiovisual industry on the environment. And also what we do as a network is develop joint sustainability related training activities to teach people in the film industry to how to do their small part in order to reduce the impact on the environment. Um, as I told you, Green Film started in 2017, and it started as a regional project. Then you will see throughout this presentation that Green Film has evolved. We started locally, and then in the years it has scaled up to the national and then to the international level. Okay, but back in 2017, when we launched this project, we were actually expecting that just a small number of producers, of the producers who are actually shooting in our territory, in our region, would have joined on a voluntary basis this green film project, because we thought that not all the producers were ready back then to embrace the green way. But we were actually surprised because about the 50%, I'm talking about 10 projects per year, or yeah, more or less in that fashion, are decided on a voluntary basis to join the project. And this means that producers committed themselves to follow our guidelines in order to uh, um, try to be a little bit more environmentally friendly than they usually are. Okay, and in 2019, our rating system has been revised because we wanted to expand it and we wanted the rating system to be exportable to other territories, because the first version of the rating system actually was linked in somehow to some services that we are offering here in Trentino, in our region, but they are not offered elsewhere in Europe. So we find a way to modify and update the rating system to make it exportable. Okay, I since I have the presentation ongoing, I do not see your faces. I don't know if you are following me. I hope so. Uh, I would really kindly ask you to give me a sign that everything is working on perfectly, that I'm not alone in the web.
No, we can hear
No,
you right.
Professor, you're not alone. We are all with you. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, and if you have any questions, you just call, just interrupt me. No worries. Okay. I'm really, I really would like you to intervene. If you have question, if there is something you do not understand, just jump in. Okay.
Sure thing.
Uh,
Sure thing.
okay. So who is involved in the process? In the process, there are three main actors. First one is green film partners, meaning film commissions or film funds or other entities in the audiovisual industry who take our green film rating system and um, and apply it to um, involve producers to to be a little bit more respectful towards the environment. Then the second entity is producers themselves. So producers that could be film or TV producers uh, who choose to commit to reduce their impact on the environment. And then the third entity involved in the process is a verifying body. A verifying body is a public or private entity. Um, Usually are big international auditing companies or environmental protection agencies that could be regional or could be national. And but anyway, they should be bodies, organizations that are entitled to verify that producers actually respected the criteria, the principles that they committed to respect before the shooting. But I'm coming to that in a second. So our guidelines, our rating system is based on six main sustainability criteria, six topics that if you think about how you could reduce your impact on the environment while you are on a film set, uh, and you also do some little research in the field of environmental sustainability and film productions, you will see that these criteria are more or less the main criteria that everywhere in the world are taken into account and respected. We start from energy saving. You all know, if you work in the film industry, how much a film set requires lighting and also electricity, power. The second criterion is transport accommodation. Same here. You know how many vehicles are involved in a film production. Then there is catering, water supply, and food supply are fundamental, and usually in a traditional production, catering generates a lot of waste. Then the fourth criterion is material selection, and here I'm talking about arts department, costumes. So all the scenery, all the costumes, all the materials that are used in order to prepare the sets. So it's a particular area in which you can do a lot to reduce the impact on the environment, and then we come to that in a second. And then you have waste management. Waste management, you all know how much waste a film production generates. And here, for example, in Italy, where I live, separating waste is compulsory now. It used not to be like that. Now uh, now it's compulsory. It used not to be like that, but now we are forced to separate our waste into plastic, glass, um, uh, recyclable, and what's called the biologic waste. So we have to separate it. And the last criterion we take into consideration is communication. But what I mean by communication is that the film industry, in particular actors and directors, have a very strong communication power, meaning that if myself as Alberto, I go out there and say, we in the film industry, we have to save the planet, well, probably nobody listens to me. But if a famous actor or a famous director goes out there on TV or in a press conference and they say, we have to save the environment, so many people will follow what they say. So this is something that we tackle also in this rating system, that communication has a very, very important role. Communicating the efforts to be more sustainable is something very, very crucial, I think. Okay, is that all clear so far?
So far, so good. Thank you.
Okay, good. So the rating system, the green film rating system, is based on a checklist, on a very simple checklist that I invite you to open at the link that I send you here. So I give you a few seconds to, if you are in front of a computer, to open the link. I'm opening it as well. Okay. Because you will see the checklist, the criteria in the website. Okay. And you will see that the criteria that I showed you in the previous slides are declined, and are more specified into specific actions that could be put into place, that could be performed by producers. Okay, so and also each action is connected to a point, some points, like to a rating, to a mark. Okay, so basically what producers do is to choose which actions they think they will be able to perform during the shooting, and before the shooting they fill in this checklist, and they make sure that they do a minimum point number of 20 points, which is the threshold for getting our certification. And then during the shooting, they do try to respect these actions. So, for example, if you see here, and if our producer marks criterion A1, temporary, which is temporary connection to the power grid, yeah, that means. So, for example, can you hear me? If you see here, and if our producer marks criterion A1, temporary, which is temporary contribution to power grid, right? Sorry, can you yeah, thank you, because I was
Was there some echo? Okay.
the from renewable sources such as the hydroelectric or the wind power or the solar power. A3 LED lighting means that the producer commits to use LED lights on the set and not using fluorescent or other kinds of lights. Okay. Same for criterion B. I will not going through all the whole criterion. You will find a full description of the checklist and the rating system on the website that I sent you. But also here for criterion B, for example, B1 means that here in Europe we have different classes of for the vehicles, for cars and trucks, and these classes define how polluting the vehicle is. So Euro 5 is so to say more polluting than Euro 6. Okay, but both Euro 5 and Euro 6 are much less polluting than many other vehicles that could be used. So we ask producers to commit themselves in using the least polluting classes of vehicles for transporting people and for transporting goods. Okay, then we propose producers to choose their accommodation within 10 kilometers from the set. So this helps in reducing the transport time, and so it means less petrol that is being consumed every day, and so on and so forth. One important point that comes with catering is trying to eliminate from the set the use of plastic. As you see, I'm using like a aluminum bottle, and this is very similar to the bottles that we invite producers and film crews to use on set. This is reusable, and people and crew members can refill this in big water tanks, and so that by plastic bottles disappears, and this helps not only in not producing plastic waste, but also to reduce the total amount of waste during the production. Okay, and so I just jump to I invite you to go on the website and see the full description. I jump to the next slide because I would like to show you a couple of examples of how it works. So when we talk about the green power, so the criterion A2, for example, we give the producer two options. The first option is to enter into contracts with energy providers that can certify that the electricity they are providing comes from renewable. As an alternative, producers can produce energy directly from themselves, from renewable sources, which is basically solar panels. But this option two clearly cannot apply for big sets that need a lot of power. So big productions usually go for option one. Smaller productions, such as documentaries, sometimes do go for option number two. Um, but on the rating system, what you can find besides requirements is also a specification of the verification procedures. As I told you before, the third entity involved in the process, besides us as a film commission and besides producers, is a verifying body. So this verifying body comes on set and verifies that producers actually are respecting the requirements that they themselves chose to respect. And why there is a verification? The verification is because, first of all, if the verification is complete and positive, you get a certification of environmental sustainability for your project, you as a producer, I mean. And second, because we as film fund and commissions, we can decide to attach to connect the certification to a monetary reward. I mean, the grant that I give you for filming in my region is increased of 5% if you get the green certification. And you all know that producers are very happy when they can get some more money for doing their film. And so this is an incentive to make their film more green, more sustainable. But you will understand that we, as a public institution, in order to give more money to a producer, we have we need like a standardized and official verification, because we cannot just base our evaluation on what a producer claims to have done. Um, so this is the reason, because it's a third party verification body is involved. Is that clear so far? Mhm.
Yes, from my
Here
side, it is.
I
Right.
have a yeah. So here I have a second element for the differentiated waste collection is to keep areas on set and in the base camp with designated waste bins, differentiated, so that you can the crew members get clear instruction on which kind of waste goes where, and then producers have to inform crew members about the fact that waste has to be differentiated, and also um, what the producer has to do is to check local law regulations, so that the differentiated low waste disposal is done according to the local laws that are applied in the territory where the shooting takes place. Okay, and and the verifying body, what they do for checking this criteria is go on set and verify the presence of differentiated waste bin, and verify that the different containers are used correctly by random sampling, basically observation. And this comes to introduce an important figure, professional figure, which has not been involved in sets on film sets so far, but that is developing little by little in Europe in the last years. And this professional is called green manager. A green manager is a person who has experience in the field of environmental sustainability that and who help the producers in shaping the process and deciding actually which criteria the producer will be able to respect. So, to summarize a bit how the process works, you can see this in this slide. Okay, so before the shooting, the producers hires a green manager who drafts the sustainability plan, basically drafts and takes the checklist that you saw, and together with the producer decides which criteria can be applied to that specific film project. Then a producer's the producer contacts the verifying body and will call the verifying body and say, we are gonna have a green film here, and we would like you to do the audit for our film. And the verifying body then acquires all the documents and sorry, and the checklist, so that the verifying body knows what to check when on set. So um, just before the shooting starts, the producers applies to us for the certification of their project. During the shooting, the verifying body verifies that the producer respected all the criteria that the producer committed to respect. And at the end of the shooting, after the shooting, if the verifying body produces a positive uh, audit, so if the verification process is positive, everything is going positively, um, we get the report from the verifying body, and we issue the certification to the producer. And then the producer can come to us or to other film funds and claim their um, supplementary monetary incentives. So this is basically what I just showed you with the arrow, but this is how the workflow goes. So uh, there are some action that has to be done before the shooting, during the shooting, and after the shooting. Okay, so here is important that you understand that um, programming and planning is very crucial. So most of the decisions that will bring producers to reduce their impact, to actually reduce their impact, are taken most of the process takes place before the shooting. uh, when you plan your shooting correctly in terms of sustainability, then you will have a big benefit then later on while your camera is on, when you're actually shooting the film. And I would like you also to tell you that at the beginning of the process, producers were a bit concerned that respecting all these criteria would have cost them much more money, because all the choices, having vehicles that consume less petrol, or hybrid vehicles, choosing LED lights or renewable energy, or shaping the catering in a particular manner, um, would have cost more money. Actually, for some aspects, a reduction of the impact on the environment also is connected to a reduction of the costs for the producer. So the fear of the producer is not justified. And also, as if other film commissions do as we do, that we give a supplementary monetary incentive. So the incentive that we give compensates for some other cost increases in the costs for trying to be uh, uh, more respectful for the environment. Here I can show you, I'm showing you a bit about the verifying bodies. Sorry, as I told you, verifying bodies could be public entities or private entities. Public entities usually are environmental protection agencies, um, which are parts of the local administration or of the government. And this goes the same for at least all the European countries. I don't know how it works in Bangladesh, but it usually every country has a body for the protection of the environment. And as an alternative, verifying bodies can be private auditing companies. And this applies to territory where the environmental protection agencies are not currently activated as a verifying body. So the rationale here was, while all the territories in Europe activate local environmental protection agencies to be verifying bodies, we give the habilitation to private auditing companies, and we choose big ones, the big players, international big players, and we chose two at the moment, but now other companies can apply for being verifying bodies. But we started with two, which are Bureau Veritas and DNVGL, and we habilitate them to act as verifying bodies. These two companies are very big international auditing companies. They have hundreds of offices scattered in the whole territory of Europe, and so they are helping producers to do the verification wherever producers are. And this is a big takes to a big advantage, because producers, doesn't matter if they're shooting in Italy, in Germany, in Spain, in France, or in UK, or where. Also, if they are doing a co-production that takes the shooting in different states of Europe, they will always find a verifying body to verifying their film, their shooting, close to the set. You see, so the costs for the verifications are reduced because of the capillarity of the presence of the verifying bodies across Europe. So far, so good. Give me a feedback.
Yeah,
You okay?
it's cool. Yeah, all good from my
It's
end.
cool.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good. Here, I'm showing you different ways in which green film can be used. Here, I bring three different examples um, about how the same instrument can be used in different ways by different film commissions and funds. For example, our partners in Norway, what they do, uh, they take green film rating system as a reference for a mandatory sustainability plan they require producers to provide before the beginning of the shooting. Another partner, the Film Commission of Emilia-Romagna, another region in Italy, what they do is give producers extra scoring points in the evaluation of the projects if projects obtain the certification, which is very similar to what we do here locally in our region. Extra points means extra money. And the strongest approach is the one that's implemented by our partners in Belgium, And since this year, what they do up there in Belgium, what they do, they require a mandatory certification in order to fund projects. So they the film fund in Wallonia, the southern part of Belgium, only provides funds to projects that have a green film certification. This is the strongest approach, because no certification, no green, no money. And I must admit that here in Italy at the moment we are not ready for that. We encourage with some incentives and some guidelines, but we are not ready yet for enforcing um, sustainability at that level. Some collaboration we have, as I told you, we started as a regional project, and then we scaled up. And a big achievement was to get the endorsement of Cineregio. Cineregio is the European Association of Regional Film Funds, and Cineregio in 2019 decided that green film would become the common tool among its associates for certifying environmental sustainability in audiovisual projects, in the audiovisual industry. Last year, we had another big achievement at a national level. The Italian Ministry of Culture decided that when the National Film Fund, we in Italy we have a National Film Fund that supports the most part of the films produced here in Italy. When producers apply for the National Film Fund, they producer can get more money if they show that they are willing to achieve our certification. When they get the green film certification, producers get more money, and that was a big acknowledgement by our main national partner, which is the Ministry of Culture. So there are a few. I'm getting closer to the end of this presentation. So there are a few good reasons for joining us in our efforts. The first one is that green film fosters the green economy. Film funds and film commission start using green film as they do in Europe, little by little. Really, we can have a common approach and use the same tool everywhere. And also outside Europe, it can be used because the rules of the grading system are so basic and so international that the principles are so uh, um, um, uh, worldwide renowned that can be really applied everywhere. A second reason is that we do provide a certificate. The is also an instrument that has been proven to be effective in many countries and many realities, in many territories around, at least around Europe. So it's something that can be used right away. So off the shelf, so to say, you can take it as a producer and use it right away. And last but not least, is something that is very important to us. Green film is really an instrument that can be used everywhere, and it's also very suited to international co-productions, as I said. So if imagine a film that is shot partially in Italy, partially in Bangladesh, so to say, uh, this project can be The sustainability of the project can be verified in both territories using the same system. Last one, which is something that we launched this year. We got a grant by the Ministry of Culture, a grant of 100,000 euros that will support a project that we launched, which is called Green Film Lab. And the project aims at collecting and analyzing data about productions that obtain the green film certification. So what we would like to do is to see how big is the positive impact of green productions on the environment compared to traditional productions. And we will do that a process that is called life cycle analysis. So we take all the life cycle of the film to understand what the impact of the of the application of the rating system on the audiovisual project is. Okay, here are some selected certified projects. Some of the titles would probably not say anything to you because they are like average European films, apart from the first one, Sanctuary, here, which is a Swedish TV series that has been distributed in about 20 countries and has been shot here locally. And we were very proud of that because it was the first international co-production to be a green film. And but if you check on the website, many more are coming, and many projects are being certified and verified at the moment. So if you come back in a few months, you will see that there are new projects that got the certification. So I think that my time is almost over. I thank you very much for listening to this class. Um, I just if ask you if you have any question. This is the good time for that.
Could I start? Because I have two of them. If that's all right.
Yes,
Okay.
Priyanka.
So the very first thing is thank you very much for your presentation. It was fascinating to learn about the green film concepts. The questions that I have is for international producers. They might not have the know-hows of the green concepts of European concepts, like how and abide by the rules. So the very first slides that you went through of the criterias and whatnot, when you have producers, when you support them, is there a way that you have in order to um, make them understand the ideas of green film for the international producers or international directors, whoever that is. My second question would be is we were talking much about the eco-friendly or green films, and when you abide by the rules, you also get some monetary incentives to it, right? It sounds really good, but do you think that also reduces the creativity, because cinema or film is essentially a creative zone? Does it does it have constraints? Does it make the field shorter, or does it limit the director or the producer in any case? If you could answer those, thank you.
Okay. Well, both are very interesting questions, and actually, I must admit that the second question is probably the first time that I heard that, but is fascinating and interesting. So I'm trying to. I start from the first one. So how it can be, if I understood it correctly, your question was. How can international producers to be aware of the the existence of green film and how they can apply. Well, what we are trying to do at the moment is after this scale up, which has happened like just recently, what we are trying to do is to lobby by the main European. I think we can move at a European level at the moment, but what we are doing is to go and see and tell all the main European institutions that we exist, that we are ready, that our system is something that can be used off the shelf right away and for free, because this is something that I haven't said so far, because I give it a bit for granted. We are a public institution, and this means that we are doing this for free, but not for no profit. So all this system that we developed can be taken and used with no costs. The only costs, well, actually, is technically what I'm saying is not true, meaning that because the system can be used for free, but what you have to pay for is the green manager who helps you in shaping the for the very in the case the verifying body is a private institution, then you have to pay some money for that, which is not so much. It's about 1,000 euro for a 4-week film, which compared to the budgets of a European film is basically nothing, or very small money. And so getting back to your question, what we are trying to do is to get to the main European institutions, to our colleagues, go to film festival, go to the markets, trying to share our approach and try to share the fact with other people, the fact that if all of us use a common approach, a common tool, then it will be easier for everybody to find a way to be more sustainable. And so this, I hope I answered your question.
The first one, yes.
Yes. The second one is creativity. Well, if you check the criteria, most of them have to do with the logistics of a film, not with the artistic part. I would say that probably only electricity. So when it comes to lighting, uh, then in that case, I can see an interference between the artistic and the sustainability thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
unless someone says, okay, the catering is not wrapped in plastic, so I'm not getting like my usual sandwich, and so my creativity production is not good as before. Well, it doesn't. Many of the criteria do not apply to the artistic part. Yes, I can see that your point for lighting, for example, and materials, but for lighting, I see that at least in Europe, many DOPs are converting to LED lighting, also because they consume less power. Now the technology is getting ready, so they are more transportable, and so it's an advantage for them as well to use LEDs nowadays. For materials as well, what the rating system requires is to use certified materials. It's not a different kind of wood what you are using. It's a wood that can tell you that is coming from recycling or coming from a sustainable process. So the materials are not different. And one more thing. If you see that a particular criterion would affect your artistic level of the film, what you can do is not to choose it. None of the criteria are compulsory. The important thing is that at the end of the checklist, you get the 20 points minimum. But where you gather these points is up to you.
I
Okay.
see. I see. I just have one. I'm sorry. I just one more. Just a little added one.
Yeah.
So the one who gets those points and gets the certificate at the end of it, per se, does it have any? Does it add any value to the festivals when the film enters the festival? Does it add any value? Because if these are because as you mentioned in Belgium, it's almost compulsory right now. So things are getting more compulsory. Do you think it would also affect the festival criteria for films to have another category of green films who would be awarded if they get that certificate?
Well, not yet. Well, thank you for the question. The third question, you just placed three main good questions in a row, and this is something that, well, apart from very specific dedicated film festivals that are dedicated that are starting to pop up in Europe in the recent years. I understand that you are referring to big festivals. You mean Cannes, you mean Venice, you mean Berlin. This at the moment, not yet, but this is something that I believe that will come up in the upcoming years. What we started doing a couple of years ago is partnering up with not a festival but with a film market here in Italy, to make it more sustainable. We try to we put them in contact with some green managers in a way that the whole market event to be more sustainable. And so we started from market events. Festival will probably be the next step.
Thanks so much. I promise I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Other questions?
Hi, I have two questions that I would actually like to write down in the chat box if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Hmm. Mm-mm. So okay, okay. The first the answer of to the first question is this year, between this year and the next year, we are launching as a green film consortium uh, a training program, pan-European training program for green managers. So check it out. Check our website in the next months and you will find the answer. Okay. And of course, at least until the pandemic is over, we will definitely offer online training. So even if you are in Bangladesh, you will be able to take part to it. And the second, how should relevant private or public institutions in Bangladesh approach green film partnership and promotion of green sustainable filmmaking? Basically, they just have to contact us. and we can discuss the terms of a partnership for free. And this should be film institutes, film commissions, film funds from Bangladesh. Just get in touch. This is something that we can do for free. I mean, as I told you, we are public, so we have we are like a no-profit institution.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Other questions? I'm writing here in the chat box my email address. Oh, this is something I cannot understand. I wish I was able to understand. But I'm writing here my email address. This is my email address. If you have any questions in the next days, just get in touch. Okay? Fine.
Thank you, Dr. Batochi, for such an enlightening session that you just get it in front of us. And yes, I believe that also our policymakers should take a hint out of this. And obviously, they should contact you so that we can go towards a greener world with greener films. So on that note, I'd like to thank our speaker today and conclude the session. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.